Jesus describes dramatic signs in the heavens that will immediately precede his return. The sun and the moon will darken, the stars will fall, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. While the world panics in terror, Jesus gives his followers a very different command. Stand up, lift your head, because your redemption is very near. Good day, Grace Keepers. My name is Joe, and this is Daily Dose of God. Welcome. Make sure you grab that workbook linked in the pinned comment and the description. Follow along with us. And stay with me, because we're going to take our time with these verses so you can clearly understand what Jesus is saying and why it matters. All right, pull up a chair. It's time to get to work. We're going to read Mark 13, 24 through 27, and Luke 21, 25 through 28. But in those days following that distress, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. At that time, people will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And he will send his angels and gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of the heavens. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth, nations will be in anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the sea. People will faint from terror, apprehensive of what's coming on the world, for the heavenly bodies will be shaken. At that time they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. When these things begin to take place, stand up, lift up your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. This scripture is describing, again, the same moment in time, but they focus, again, on two different sides of what will happen. Both passages agree on the main sequence of events. After a period of great distress, there will be dramatic signs in the sky. Aliens, anyone? The sun will be darkened, and it will stop giving light. The moon will no longer reflect light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Then, right after these signs, people will see the Son of Man, that is, Jesus, coming in the clouds with great power and glory. This is the moment the entire Bible has been pointing toward. The visible, public return of Jesus Christ to this earth. And I can't help but smile and get the chills every time I say it. Now, let's look at where Mark and Luke differ, because those differences give us a fuller picture. Mark focuses on what Jesus himself will do when he returns. He says, Jesus will send out his angels to gather his elect, that is, his chosen people, from the four winds. The phrase, from the four winds, is an old way of saying from every direction on earth. Mark also adds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of the heavens, showing that no place is too far for Jesus to reach his people. Mark's version emphasizes the action of Christ rescuing and gathering his own. Luke, on the other hand, focuses more on how people on earth will respond to these events. He tells people that nations will be in anguish and confusion because of the roaring and tossing of the sea. People will faint from terror, overwhelmed by what's coming upon the world. But then Luke immediately turns to believers with a very personal and hopeful command. When these things begin to take place, stand up, lift up your heads, because your redemption is drawing near. So in simple terms, Mark shows us what Jesus will do for his people. Luke shows us both how terrifying this will be for the world and how believers should respond, not with fear, but with hope and confidence. This is a pretty important moment for our Road Back to Revelation study because right here, the conversation clearly shifts to the end times. Some of you may be wondering, if Jesus was speaking in one long conversation, why do some people believe part of it refers to AD 70 and part of it refers to the end times? That's a very good question. It's definitely one I have. The confusion comes from earlier in the chapter. Jesus said, "This generation will not pass away until all these things take place." Many believe this means some of what he described, specifically the surrounding of Jerusalem and the destruction of the temple, was fulfilled back in AD 70 when Rome destroyed the city. However, when we come to today's passage, the language completely changes. Cosmic signs in the sun, moon, stars, heavenly bodies being shaken, and the Son of Man coming on the clouds with power and glory. These things have never happened in history. This is clearly describing the second coming of Jesus, not the events in AD 70. Thus my confusion. So while Jesus was answering two questions in one conversation, by the time we reach Mark 13:24 and Luke 21:25, the focus is clearly moved from the near-term judgment on Jerusalem to the final events at the end of the age. This connects directly to what we will see later in Revelation. The cosmic disturbances that Jesus describes here match exactly with the sixth seal in Revelation chapter 6. We're standing now in the final section of the Olivet Discourse, the part that is unmistakably about the return of Christ. Many of you watching today are seeing the news coming out of the Middle East and wondering if we're getting close to the kind of events Jesus is describing in these verses. You see wars, rumors of wars, nations rising against nations, and you are asking, naturally, is this it? Are we watching the beginning of the end? The world's natural reaction to these cosmic signs will be fear and panic. If they don't have God, they don't know what's coming. Jesus says people will faint from terror, no doubt. They will be in anguish and perplexed, for sure. When the sun goes dark, the stars fall, and the foundations of the sky itself seem to shake, the world will feel like reality is collapsing. That kind of fear makes sense for people who have no hope beyond this life. But Jesus gives his followers the opposite instruction. He says, when these things begin to take place, stand up, hold your head high, because redemption is drawing near. That command is very practical for us right now. It means we do not have to live in constant anxiety every time we see instability in the Middle East or anywhere else in the world. Jesus has already told us what's coming. He's already told us how to face it. Our job is to keep our eyes on him, stay grounded in the Word, and remember that even when everything around us feels like it's falling apart, our redemption is getting closer. This doesn't mean that we ignore what's happening or stick our heads in the sand. It just means that we watch with a different posture. We stay alert without being afraid. We prepare our families, secure what we can, but we anchor our hearts in the promise that Jesus is coming for us. Jesus gives us both a warning and a powerful promise in these verses. This is the heart of what we've seen all week. Jesus has been preparing his followers ahead of time. Whether we're watching current events in the Middle East or sensing the growing instability in the world. We don't have to live in fear. Tomorrow we move into the final section of the Olivet Discourse. We'll look at the fig tree, the importance of staying watchful, and how Jesus calls us to live while we wait for his return. Thank you all so much for being here. Please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe on your way out. God bless you and yours, and I can't wait to see you here tomorrow for another dose. Have a great day, folks.